putt into my parents' driveway, amazed at how dark it was already. The clocks had gone back last week, and I still hadn't adjusted to the perpetual gloominess. I hated knowing it would be a long time before the sun was bright and the days were long. I eyed the house warily. The lights were on. The warm contrast against the darkness would have normally made me feel all cozy inside, but it made me feel strangely anxious instead, like the house was alive and waiting for me. I wasn't sure what that meant, but I knew I probably had to trust my instincts. They were right most of the time. I walked over to the front door, slowly fishing out my key. I paused on the bottom step. A strange wave of energy radiated toward me from the closed door. My anxious feeling intensified. I looked around me, wondering what it could be. A movement at my bedroom window on the second floor caught my eye. It was Ada. Her small frame was barely visible against my room, which was lit only by my desk lamp. She was waving at me frantically, making the shooing motion. I was about to step back and holler at her, hoping she would open the window and explain what was going on, when the front door flew open. My father was on the other side.
"Are you gonna come inside?"
he bellowed. This was not the normal greeting from my father. Though it was hard to see his face since he was backlit by the foyer, I could tell he was scowling. Few things strike fear in my heart quite like my father does when he's angry. Ghosts and skinwalkers were one thing, but my dad was something else. Something I understood. Our tempers were, unfortunately, very similar. I swallowed hard. I was just looking for my keys. He glanced down at the keys visible in my hand and walked back in the house. I didn't want to follow him, but I had no choice. I walked inside and closed the door gently behind me. He had disappeared. I shook off my boots, placing them neatly in the hall closet instead of leaving them lying on the floor like I usually did, and creeped forward down the hallway, hoping that I could get to the stairs in the safety of my room before anything happened. "Perry?" I heard my mother call out from the living room. I turned to my left and saw her and my father sitting on separate armchairs. They looked like a job interviewing panel. In the light of the room, my dad was indeed scowling. He was sucking in his cheeks, something he did when he was keeping the verbal volcano on lockdown. Underneath his glasses, his eyes explored my mother's face and avoided my own. My mother looked rather blank, except for the lines of worry that always wiggled on her forehead. I didn't like this situation at all. I heard a noise behind me and turned to see Ada standing awkwardly on the staircase, staring at me frightfully. Her eyes were red like she had been crying, and her makeup was more smudged than normal, which said a lot.
"Go back to your room, Ada,"
my dad said forcefully without looking at her. Ada's eyes met with mine, and I could almost hear her saying, "I told you not to come home," in my head. Then she ran up the stairs, and I was left feeling very alone and very scared.
"I called you today, Perry,"
my father said thickly. I know. I called you back, but no one answered."
"I wanted to know if you wanted to go out to lunch with me since I was heading into the city."
"Oh, sorry," I stammered. My heart began to thump louder. This was not just about missing a lunch with my dad. I knew deep down inside what this was all about.
"So, I decided to surprise you and stop by your office,"
he said, his eyes focusing on me like a laser beam. My heart must have stopped. It felt like it fell out from my chest and onto the floor, along with my lungs and nerves. It's exactly what I was afraid of. He knew. They knew. I was done for. I couldn't say anything. What was there to say? The room swayed. He continued.
"Do you know what I found when I got to your office? I saw a strange receptionist, and when I asked if I could speak with you, I was told that she no longer worked for the company. Naturally, I got a little upset."
Oh, God. I could just see my father blowing a gasket in the middle of my old work, disturbing the stuffy advertising suits, just as I had done on more than a few occasions.
And then your boss, your ex-boss, came out and explained to me what happened. She had told me they had to let you go. You took your promotion and then demanded you be allowed to work part-time.
My father